So in your opinion, is this something that the US government, it sounds like this must be something that the US government also thinks is real. Are they surprised by that? Are you surprised by that they think that this is real?
Well, yeah, I do believe, I cannot prove, but I certainly do believe that the United States government understands that this phenomenon is real. First of all, we have extensive, Congress that is, has extensive firsthand and secondhand reporting, and credible historical documentation and testimony indicate to me that the answer is yes. You know, Also, I would say this: if the United States government isn't aware and tracking this to the same degree that most of us are, I'd be shocked and ashamed of the government. I believe that the United States government, especially when it comes to national security, is quite alert, and they don't pull punches, and that they get deadly serious when there's indications of a significant national security threat. I believe that the United States government would have investigated this matter very seriously. For example, we have a tendency to date the beginning of the UFO UAP era, to 1947 with Roswell and with the flying saucer reports of 1947. But I think we really need to go back to World War II, if not before. And that I date the government's awareness and seriousness about this to that era, World War II, if not before. I'm talking about the Foo Fighters that people understand was a real phenomenon during the Second World War. But if you read the literature about Foo Fighters, you will quickly recognize, for those of us who are students of the UFO phenomenon, is that the descriptions of these so-called Foo Fighters is exactly the same as what modern witnesses observe today and describe today. These things were all over the European and Pacific theaters. The U.S. and our allied intelligence services were absolutely paranoid during the war about the ingenuity of German scientists and engineers. We were constantly in an anxious state of anxiousness about what secret new wonder weapon were the Germans going to come up with. And I will tell you, if you read the literature, when these Foo Fighters erupted onto the bomber runs in the Second World War in Europe, there was a lot of worry that this was some German superweapon. And the Allied intelligence services were worried about this, and they assigned serious people to track this. It's really interesting to note in this respect that one of the main scientists who was involved in that effort in the Second World War was Howard Robertson. Another figure was Luis Alvarez, who was a subsequent Nobel laureate. They were in Europe studying the Foo Fighter phenomenon. And of course, Howard Robertson emerges again in 1953, heading up the CIA's Robertson panel that came out to advise about how to combat public and academic interest in UFOs. So I think that the government does know, and it's been following this for a very, very long time.